it will be, because if you've heard that, it is the seed, and you will get there. It develops over time. There's maybe some more bullshit that needs to happen to you first for you to really go, I'm done, I'm ready.
Yeah, holy shit, this is deep, man. You're going deep. You're really saying some powerful shit. I'm liking it a lot. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you think? Quick question for me, actually. Do you think plant medicine is can help some people to evolve into 5D consciousness, or do you think there's a place for it, or do you think it's a cheat, or we shouldn't go there with stuff like that?
I think that every single person who's truly enlightened will try plant medicine. Cool. And now some people are going to say to me, oh no, you don't need it because, you know, I can get there by myself. Yeah. Well done, you got somewhere, but it wasn't there. It went there. I'm telling you 100%, because the thing that mother shows me most is that plant medicine is really important, and everything that we're going through is to teach us respect for that point in our journey when we reach to that level, and that we can actually start to embrace it and become one with it. And I think that we're basically like, those things are connectors to self, and we're put through all of this shit to smash up our ego so we can be ready for it. And when we do that, and then we get to there, we really get to see the healing of it, and we really get to see that little voice that says in the mind, oh, you know, you don't really need it because whatever. That's the voice of the society, that's the voice of the world, that's the voice of ourselves, who we are the oppressor, ourselves oppressing ourselves for us not to see. But when we look and say, you know what, I know that what comes from the earth, what is natural, what brings oneness to you, what's bring oneness to some, you know, I can't shit on that. You know, when we say that, with an open heart, and then we really we throw fear as well out the window, because all of this fear comes from the stories we've heard, and the government putting laws on what are plants. Right. You know, it comes from that. Oh, it's dangerous, or you can't do that. You're in school and you teach about like how terrible that is, and you know how gateway whatever, it is a gateway to fucking higher consciousness. That's where the gateway is to. Not saying we're bad, it's a gateway to yourself. So they didn't lie. You know, the answer I used to say, the answer is always both. They didn't lie. They said it's a gateway, but it's not the gateway down. It's the gateway up, or maybe down then up. Like sometimes, but either way, it's a connection with your higher self and more of your senses. And what happens with plant medicines, in particular those plants that give us psilocybin, that because I did a little bit of training in this before when I worked in the mental health industry, you know, that actually fires those receptors in the brain. It gets them firing. And if anyone who's ever taken psilocybin, on one often thing that you might get feeling like really kind of like, put it like electric head, and then sometimes like a sharp kind of like a feeling, like a sharp feeling here, almost like a energy, like a wind, like going through your head. So you can feel it, like, you know, when I'm saying these I learned this before, and when I started, and I never did psilocybin then, and when I did psilocybin and I started experiencing that, and every time I had any visions, I always experienced that. I realized that this is true. These connections in my brain, they are like firing off, opening, and that's the gateways. These little doors of thoughts where they're connecting your thoughts. You got this, like, you know, like these behaviors, like, you know, I do this, and then this is going to happen, and then that's going to happen. Those are like little connections that are happening in your brain, and you have to connect enough of them for you to really connect with the pineal, for then you to be like fully opened and start to have like some of these experiences. And when you take psilocybin, they're all firing at the same time. You can just go anywhere you want to go. You want to go into the dark? Hello, baby, we'll go there. Or it's still good. Never mind. Go into light. All right, we can go there. You know, so like, yeah, like that can't be like a negative thing. That's where we're all going anyway. As we move forward into the golden age, as our bodies become light bodies, these portholes will become open to us. And whilst we're here now, especially rooted in 3D, it's really kind of like essential, to be honest, to experiencing our full self and breaking down this disconnect that we have with nature in plants in general. So right now I'm sitting in my garden, and I got my plants and everything going there and everything. And I got to say, definitely, psilocybin was a big part of that journey. And I'm out here cuddling up and talking to my plants all the time. I get to really realize, wow, they are conscious and they're here for us.
Yeah, I love that. And also, like, I feel like they give you access to a very extreme high level of consciousness than even we're used to in our normal day-to-day lives, which means that when we come back out of it, we've got that reference to kind of shoot for. So now we can do meditations and tap into meditations far easier and go deeper because we've had that reference experience of what we truly are. So yeah, I think you're completely right with plant medicines. I had to say that because one or two people on my Facebook that I don't really focus on this stuff, but I'm just aware in our communities were telling me that we shouldn't be promoting because it's dangerous and people overuse it. And no, we should be, because the right people, the light workers, do use it properly. We don't overuse it for bad things. So yeah.
No one dies of mushrooms. No one dies of LSD. No one.
Or even weed. Yeah? Even weed, I think. Weed doesn't kill either.
No one dies of weed.
Yeah.
No one dies of DMT.
Yeah. Well, we make it.
No one. Yeah.
We make it ourselves, honestly.
And you hear stories. If you hear any of the stories, they're all fake. I like to use my eyes. I look around me, and I know a lot of people that do these things, and they're beautiful people, to be honest. They're amazing people, and no matter what, even if we might have different experiences, because of course, remember, we're all on a different journey, and we're all showing each other, all showing ourselves what we need to get to the next steps. So when we're telling ourselves, we're giving ourselves truths. We give ourselves what we need to be able to get the next step. So we're not all on the same page. But all my brothers and sisters who do psilocybin, when they look in your eyes and they're like, they can't wait to just hug you. Because if you've ever done something like LSD or mushrooms, the first thing you realize is that everything is me. Everything is me. You see your face in everything. You're looking at someone in like I'm looking at you, and you got kind of like your face is different shapes, but I'm looking at your face. It's like those little shapes. They're all me. It's like you're a giant me, but you look like you, but you look like me. I can feel it. Everything is me. And then you start to see the patterns. You look at the trees, and this tree's got a face in it and it's smiling. You look at the wall, and the wall's got a face in it and smiling. And then when the trip is over and it's not necessarily so vivid like that anymore, you can still look at the tree and you can still see the face smiling. You can still look at the wall and you see the pattern there smiling. And Mother shows us that literally in everything, all of this matter, which is us, this here, this is me as well, this wall, it's a part of the construct which I've created for myself, just like you, to be able to teach me something too. I'm not just listening to you and listening the words and everything, and that's amazing, because I've got that, but that's highly rooted in 3D when I can look at the wall and speak with the wall, get a message from this piece of stone here, and I'm seeing it here. Look, I've got two little black things here, and this thing is here, and I'm seeing the eyes. Looks like it's tears coming from it. It's crying with happiness and joy to be able to pass you this message. If I could do that, that's fucking 5D.
Yeah, it is. That sounds like it. Yeah, I can't do that shit. I can't do that.
It's really good. And after you have many of these experiences, that's when you begin to remember. Often when you first have your first mushroom or LSD trip or DMT, you're so overwhelmed with everything, you're just like, but then after a few times you start to remember, I've been there before, this is that and this is that, and then you again, because it's now rooted in the memory, because those connections that was open, they don't, just like addiction, they don't just connect the first time you do it. You have to do it again and again and again and again, and it becomes wired in your brain. And now when I look at everything, I can see faces everywhere. If I look at you and I stop looking at you and I realize I'm looking at me, my whole view just becomes one big face. You're just a little nose in the middle.
Doing that right now. Can you do that right now?
Right. I can go from kind of being rooted in 3D to being rooted in 5D, but I like to keep myself in 5D more. But sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I do like to be in 3D still. So I'm in a process.
I'm with you. So wait,
myself.
when you go into 5D, you can look at somebody as you said. You can look at somebody as you, as reflection of you. So you can look at me and your friend.